Shrimp and artichoke scampi. One of the things that makes this dish very inexpensive is that it goes over a bed of pasta. So my pasta of choice is spaghetti, linguine, in a real quick, real hurry, angel hair pasta. In fact, had one of those busy nights a few days ago and needed to get dinner on the table in like not 15 minutes, not 10 minutes, but like 3 minutes. Angel hair pasta was my pasta of choice. I kid you not, it was done in no time. So love that. So we'll get our pasta in here. You actually have to be careful with angel hair pasta that you don't overcook it. So because by the time you cook it and then strain it, and it cooks in that strainer a little bit. So actually really, I think for all pasta, I like to cook it al dente. All right, so I'm just going to get we're using spaghetti today because that's what we happen to have on hand. Always season your pasta water with a little bit of salt. That's really your only way to get some seasoning into those noodles. Okay, so it's a shrimp and artichoke scampi, and get a nice skillet. In this case, I like to use a non-stick skillet, and we're going to make a wonderful lemon white wine sauce. This is a pretty light dish, although there is a little bit of butter at the end, but you could certainly cut back on that, but it's just going to be a little butter, and this dish is going to serve 4 people. So I'm going to start with some olive oil, a little bit of olive oil in our skillet, and then I like to buy frozen shrimp in the 2-pound bags, and whenever it goes on sale, that's a really good time to buy it. Then if you need dinner in a real hurry, if you didn't think about taking out a handful of shrimp in the morning before you go to work, so that's, by choice. I like to thaw it in the fridge while I'm at work all day. But if you just come home from work, you need a real quick fix, just pull out what you need from your bag of frozen shrimp, pop the shrimp back in the freezer, and then run it under cool running water, and it thaws out in no time. Shrimp cooks quicker than chicken, quicker than beef. I mean, it is like a minute or 2 per side, very, very quick. So. And I buy it normally, depends on the recipe I'm doing, but already peeled, already deveined. This happens to have the tail on, tail off. Doesn't really matter for this recipe. Presentation with the tail on is going to be a little prettier, but just depends on what you have. And this recipe just needs, doesn't even need a pound of shrimp. It can be, a half pound, even a quarter pound of shrimp. Whatever you have, whatever you can afford. It's really, this recipe is still going to be very special. So one of the things I wanted to do is I put my olive oil in the pan, and I put 1 shrimp down, and I didn't really hear that sizzle, so I'm going to take it right out, and until I hear that little sizzle, I want to hear the pan talking to me before I put the shrimp in. So I'm going to go to work on some of the other parts of this recipe. So I've got some fresh garlic. I'm just going to give it a rough chop here, about 3 cloves of fresh. You could also use the jar if you're in a real hurry. That's something I always have, the jar of garlic in my refrigerator. Well, come on, pan. Start heating up a little bit, taking its good old time. All right, and I've got 1 can of quartered artichoke hearts, and I'm just going to drain those. I want to get rid of the liquid that's inside. Alrighty. Now our pan's starting to heat up. So when I put my shrimp in, I don't want to overcrowd the pan. I just want to kind of put it around the skillet. These have to be actually nice big shrimp, so 2 to 3 per person is going to be perfect for this dish. I love to go to a restaurant and see a dish there, and I'm like, I can so recreate that at home for way cheaper, and this is one of them. Check our pasta. Still got a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to season the shrimp with a little bit of salt and pepper. My daughter Ireland is a huge fan of shrimp. Whenever we go out to a restaurant, she sees some sort of a shrimp dish on the menu. She's like, okay, I'm having shrimp tonight. And I think, oh, dollar signs pop up in my head. So I've, had to figure out a way that she can get her shrimp and we don't go, broke. So this is what I do. I just cook it at home. In fact, now she cooks it herself. It's such a quick, easy thing to cook. And the minute it starts to turn pink, it's done, and we can start adding the rest of the ingredients. Just kind of flip it on both sides. You don't want to overcook the shrimp, because it's going to continue to cook. We're adding some more stuff to this dish to give it some great flavor. So, all right, we're going to start adding. In goes our garlic. You've heard me talk about this before. Once you add the garlic, really keep it moving around. We're going to do a pinch of red pepper flakes. It's up to you. You could leave this out. This is not going to be a real spicy dish. It's just going to give the dish a little bit of flavor. But just a pinch. These are just the red pepper flakes that you put on pizza. In go our artichoke hearts. A little bit of dry white wine, and I just buy the real inexpensive stuff when I'm cooking. And if you happen to be drinking some wine with dinner, just use a splash of that. Oh, that smells so good. Really works well with the artichoke hearts. Now we're going to do some lemon zest and some lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. Figure you might as well use both and really pump up the lemon flavor in this dish. So many people just, juice the lemon and don't think about adding a little zest. Why not? You've got it right here anyway. Now talk about that lemon flavor. I'm a huge fan of capers. Capers, you're going to find them in the pickle aisle of the grocery store. They come in a little jar like this, and they kind of have a very mild pickle lemon flavor. So they really work great in this dish. This is one of those things that you may see these in a dish that you order out at a restaurant. Pick yourself up a jar of capers, and you can just have that same restaurant feel at home. This is something I love to put in sauces like this. It's also fantastic in tartar sauce. If you're doing a homemade tartar sauce with a little fresh dill, lemon, and some capers, it's just yummy. Let's check our pasta. Just about done. And now I've got some fresh parsley. Now our shrimp is done. Our artichokes are nice and warm. Just going to add a splash more because our white wine's starting to evaporate, and I want a little bit of liquid in there to create a sauce. So let me finish up our parsley, and I'll show you the last touch that we're going to do. The show's only been going about 10 minutes, and we are at the finish line. And if I wouldn't have talked so much, we probably could have had it done in less time than that. Okay, so at this point, this goes off the heat. And this is what they do at a lot of restaurants. At the very end, they whisk in some cold butter, just a tablespoon or two, and it just tightens up the dish and tightens up that sauce. So instead of adding heavy cream, which you could do, but that's going to make this dish taste totally differently. Normally, the scampi is a lighter dish, and just 1 tablespoon will do it. We don't need really even the full 2, I can just tell. And it was a real clear dish, or a clear sauce, with the wine and the lemon juice, and now, I don't know if you can see, but it's just tightening up a little bit. And that's that hint of butter at the very end. Oh, what the heck, we'll add 1 more. And we'll throw in our parsley. All right, let me drain our pasta. This is so simple. Really, really simple. Serve this with a nice big salad, maybe some bread. And you will totally look like a rock star. $1 box of spaghetti or whatever pasta you have around the house. Some of the shrimp and the artichokes and the great sauce that we just threw a little butter and the capers there at the end. You can garnish with a little bit of fresh lemon. And there you go. My shrimp and artichoke scampi, it is just a winner in my family. And talk about a quick fix, super simple. Recipes on the website. You could also pick up this recipe at any area Festival Foods.